That's in through our nose, out through our mouths. Good. And maybe we'll just start from the top down. So inhale, let's lengthen in that spine and we'll begin to lift our nose up to the sky. And then exhale, we'll just lower that chin down to our chest. And then inhale, we'll come up to the sky. And then exhale down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, lower, and just keep that head nice and low. We can even like touch the back of our head, lightly touch and help the head stay low. Open up behind ourselves a little bit, open the back of the neck. Good. And now from here, with our chin at our chest, we're just going to draw a little smile along our collar. So bringing our chin over to one shoulder, and then back all the way around to the other shoulder, just moving ever so gently. You get some of those crackles out. Start to feel how we're doing in the shoulders and in the neck. Let's do one more to each side here. And then we'll go back to the center and slowly lift that chin back up to the center. And now, inhale, let's bring that right hand up and we'll touch the left ear. Exhale, drop those shoulders away from the ear and then just help the head come over to the right. And then with that left hand, we can keep it on our knee or we can reach it out toward the floor, opening up a little further in that left shoulder, neck area. One more breath here. Stay for the exhale, and then at the very tail end of that exhale, we'll just release the head, come back up to the center. Inhale, we'll just bring that left hand up and over to the right side. Again, relax those shoulders away from the ears and just encourage the head to come over to the left side. And we can reach those right fingers out if you would like. Let's do one more breath. Inhaling, nice and tall. And exhale to relax. Good. At the tail end of that exhale, we'll just let the head come back up to the center. And we'll move on down to the shoulders, rolling those buddies back and around. Opening the chest as those shoulders go back. As we come around, we open behind. Let's do one more time around this direction. And then we'll go the other way. So we'll start backwards and then come forward. Let's do one more time around. Open, around. Good, back to the center. Lengthen in that spine. Let's inhale those hands up high. Good, exhale, let's bring them over to the right. Good, inhale, let's come up to the center and then over to the left. Inhale up to the top. And now let's just go back and forth a couple of times. Exhale down. Good. Inhale up. Exhale down to the other side. Inhale up. One more time to each side. Just opening up on those sides. Good. Back up to the top. Big reach with those fingers. And now exhale, cactus arms. Open up the chest and a slight arch to the back. Good. And then inhale up. And exhale, slight arch to the back. Inhale up. Exhale. One more time. Little tiny arch in the spine. Open up that chest. And back up to the top. And now let's do a forward fold. Bringing those hands in front of us. Chest comes down. Keeping those sitting bones onto our mat. Good. And now let's inhale, roll our way back up. Hands come up high. And now exhale one more time, folding forward, reaching forward, hinging at those hips. And bring our chin toward those fingertips. Good, and then begin to walk those fingers forward. We're gonna roll over our shins and come up onto our hands and our knees into a tabletop. Open up those fingers wide, pressing each one of them down into our mats. Our knees are underneath of our hips. We can even tuck those toes to open up our feet if we would like. Good, and now we're just gonna draw little circles around with our shoulders into those wrists. Do 3 or so rotations in one direction, and then when we're ready, we'll just go the other way. And once we've got those 3 or so revolutions, we'll come back to the center. Good. And now, this one's tough. We're gonna flip our hands over. Fingers point towards us, palms toward the sky. And we'll slowly, gently begin to move the wrists down in toward our mats. Toward, it probably won't go all the way down there. Always gentle, and then lifting up, wiggling those fingers, shaking them out. Back to our tabletop. Good. And now let's tuck those toes. We'll press our butts back towards the heels and then begin to lift the knees up a little bit. So we're pressing the heels away, opening behind our ankles and those Achilles tendons, opening up in the bottoms of our feet and our arches. Good, and then lowering those knees back down. Shoulders come up over our wrists. We can soften the feet, and we'll bring our hips forward into a baby plank. Press into those hands. Lift the chest. Tuck the tail, and then soften those hips just a little bit to let them open up in the front without drooping, right? Good, and now exhale, let's lower our chests down toward our mats. Hands are underneath of our shoulders. Inhale, let's scoop and lift the heart up into a baby cobra. Good, and press back to our child's pose. let's lift up again, little plank. Exhale down. Inhale, scooping up that chest. And we'll press back to a child's pose. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up to our little plank. Exhale, we'll come down. Inhale, scooping up, opening in that low back. And then we'll press back to our child's pose. Good. Inhale up to our tabletop. Bring those shoulders over our wrists. We're going to keep that right knee on the ground, and we're going to extend the left leg and press that whole foot, and we'll open up to the left, lifting the left hand for a modified side plank, pressing the outer edge of that left foot into our mat. Our fingers on our right hand are really working. Good. And exhale, let's come on back down to our tabletop. Good. And now the other side, lengthening that right leg, opening to the right, lifting the right hand, pressing the outer edge of the foot into our mat, lifting our ribs away from the floor, stacking the shoulders, reaching with those right fingers, pressing with the left. And exhale, let's come on back down to our tabletop. And we'll tuck the toes, lift our hips, and we'll press our shoulders back to a downward facing dog. Pedal those feet, wake up the calves, wiggle in our hips and our tails, and then pulling those shoulders away from the wrists, away from the ears. Tummy is working toward the thighs as our nose are working towards our toes. Good. And now, as we inhale, let's walk those feet forward towards our hands to the top of our mat. Into a forward fold. Release the hands. We can just hang here and pedal the knees. If we need, you can bend those knees to help our forward fold. Find where we're at today. And then we'll deeply bend those knees. We'll round in the spine and slowly, slowly we'll roll our way up. Roll the shoulders back as we get to the top. Reach the fingers down to the mats. Lift to the top of the head. Into Tadasana. Breathing deep into our bellies. Quads and glutes are active. And now let's inhale. Lift the hands up high. Exhale, tiny back bend. We can bring the hands back behind us or even open up into a bit of a cactus. And then inhale, we come up. Exhale, big swan dive down to our forward fold. Good. Inhale to a flat back, long legs. Exhale, we fold. And now hands find the floor, and we'll step back with the left foot into our lunge. Wiggle into our lunge. Good, and then we'll step back to our downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll come forward into our plank. Toes or knees pressing into the floor with those hands. Exhale, chest go forward, elbows go back. As we lower down in one piece, down to our mats. Soften the feet, hands are under our shoulders, and we can scoop up to our baby cobra, or we can come up to upward facing dog. We'll tuck those toes behind us, lift our hips, press back those shoulders into downward facing dog. Good, let's lift that right leg up high. We'll step forward into our lunge. Step forward with the left to find our fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we'll fold. And inhale, we'll roll our way up. Exhale, little back bend here. Cactus arms, open up the shoulders, hips come forward. Good, inhale, coming on up. And exhale, swan diving down to our fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we'll fold down, hands find our mats, and we'll step back with the right foot this time into our lunge. Wiggle our way into it, see where we're at. Good, and then step back for our downward facing dog. Good, inhale, let's come forward. Exhale, we'll lower down. Inhale to our choice of back bend. Cobra, upward facing dog, we can even do Sphinx. Tuck those toes, lift the hips, press back to our downward facing dog. Good, let's lift that left leg up high. Press the heel back behind us. Keep lengthening in the spine. And then stepping forward with that left foot into our lunge. And then with the right into our fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, let's roll our way up. Take our time. Head should be the last thing that rises. Shoulders should fall down to their spot. Fingers are reaching toward the floor. Into Tadasana. Beautiful job. Let's inhale high. Good. Big circles with our arms this time, bringing those thighs and knees together as we sit down into our chair. And inhale, we'll come back up to the sky with those arms. Exhale, let's fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale to a flat back. Hands can come to our thighs or our shins, to a block, to the floor. Exhale, let's fold a little bit more. We'll step back with that left foot again to our lunge. Good, let's keep that left hand on the floor and we'll lift up the right for a little twist. Good, let's lower that right hand back down. And we're just going to do that a couple of times with our breath. So inhale, we'll lift. We can even make a big circle and reach behind us if we like. And then coming on back, down to the back. Inhale up. Big rainbow with that arm if we like. And then exhale, we'll come back down. Let's do that one more time. Third time's a charm. We can reach back if we like. If we don't like this, don't do it always. And back down to our lunge. Very good. Let's inhale to a high lunge. High lunge can be here. We can also keep that knee to the ground. Excellent. Hands come back down. Let's step back for a downward facing dog. Inhale, let's come forward into our plank. Strong plank here. Exhale, doing our best to lower down deliberately. Good. Inhale to our choice of back bend. Tuck those toes. Lift our butts. Downward facing dog. Good. Let's lift up that right leg. Beautiful. Let's kick ourselves in the butt here. Open up to the right, lifting the knee high toward the sky. You can even peek underneath that right arm. Good. And now bringing that knee into our chest, we'll hover in plank. And then press back for our three-legged dog. Good. Inhale, we'll come forward. Exhale, press back. Inhale, we come forward. Exhale, press back. Good. Inhale, bring that knee into our chest and we'll step all the way up into our lunge. And then we'll step the left to meet it into our fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we'll fold. And then inhale, let's roll our way up. All the way to the sky with those fingers. Beautiful. Exhale, little back bend here, cactus arms. Inhale up. And then big circle with those arms. Let's sit down into our chair. Inhaling high. Exhale, let's go down to our fold. Inhale to the flat back. Exhale, let's see if we can fold a little bit further. We'll step back with that right foot into our lunge. Good. Our right hand will stay on the floor. Left hand comes up, reaching for the sky, opening up that chest to the left. And then exhale, coming on down with that hand. And with our breath, big rainbow with that arm. We can come straight up if we like, or if it feels like we want to, we can reach back behind us and then come back around to the floor. 2 more times. Inhaling up. And back. Last time, inhale up. And all the way back down to our mats. Finding our balance here. Let's come up for our high lunge. And exhaling, hands come down. Stepping back to our downward facing dog. Inhale forward for our plank. Exhale, we lower. Inhale to our back bend, upward facing dog, cobra. Tuck those toes, lift those hips, pressing back down dog. Good, let's lift that left foot up, reaching back behind us, and we'll kick ourselves in the bum, open up that hip to the left. Good, Good. And then back to our three-legged dog, and then bringing that knee into our chest. Hovering plank. And then press back. Inhale, we'll come forward. Exhale, we'll press back. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. Inhaling forward, and let's bring that foot all the way up to our lunge. We'll let that right foot come forward. And we'll hang here in our forward fold. You can even hold our elbows, bend the knees, and just hang and sway if we like. And then we'll release those hands down toward the floor, to our shins. Inhale to a flat back, long legs, hinging only at the hips. As we reach our head out and away. And then exhale, let's round again. And we'll roll our way up to the top. Nice and high with those fingers. Feeling our feet rooting down into our mats. Exhale, hands come down to our sides. Or Tadasana. Very good. Let's bring our hands to our hearts. We'll press those palms together so we're opening up those shoulders nice and wide. Very good. And now we're just going to shift our weight over to our left foot. That left leg is nice and strong and active, and we can just begin to lift the right heel up off of our mats, feeling the strength of that left leg. We'll bend that right knee and flex the foot into a balance here. If we're happy here, this is where we stay. If we would like, we can try a twist. We'll take that right hand to our hip, our left hand to the knee, lengthen on that inhale, and then we'll twist a little bit to the right. And slowly we'll come back to the center as hands come back to our heart center, lowering that right leg. Shake it out a little bit. Inhale, let's lift high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to a flat back. And we'll exhale, lower that chest a little bit further down. Good. And we'll step back that left foot. Inhale to our high lunge. And now let's do a little twist to the right. So taking that right hand back behind us, left hand comes forward. Try and keep our shoulders over our hips. We're not trying to reach this time. Sometimes I have to do that, but not today. Good. Inhale back up to the top. Exhale down. Let's step back downward facing dog and flow through our vinyasa. Inhale, we come forward. Exhale, we lower down. Inhale to a little back bend. Tuck those toes, pressing back. And now from here, we can step, we can walk, or we can jump all the way up to the top of our mat into our forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we drop that chest a little bit further. And then rolling our way up, nice and high. Exhale, hands coming down to our sides for Tadasana. Very good. Bringing those hands together at our hearts. Pulling those shoulders back, engaging all the way around, not just in these front abs, but in the back as well. Shifting our weight over to the right. I'm over exaggerating, but so we can see. And then we're slowly gonna lift that left foot, bring the knee in towards our chest, find the balance. If we're happy here, this is where we stay, or we can take that left hip hand to the hip, right hand to the knee, lengthen, and then exhale and twist to the left. Keeping that right leg good and active all the way up into the hip. Good, and then we'll slowly come back to the center, hands to our hearts. We'll lower down that left leg. Beautiful job. Inhale up high. Exhale, we'll fold. Good. Inhale to a flat back. And then exhale, we deepen that fold. Good. And then we'll step back with that right leg into our lunge. Find our balance. Inhale to our high lunge. And then we'll twist to the left, taking that left hand back behind us, right hand forward, pressing that right heel back behind, keeping that leg good and strong, sinking down into that lunge, bringing those shoulders over our hips, breathing, smiling. If we grit our teeth, it looks like we're smiling too, so there's that. Good, and then back up to the center. Exhale, we'll come down. Step back for our down dog. Inhale, we'll come forward. Exhale, we lower down. Inhale to our back bend. And now, let's tuck those toes, press back for our downward facing dog. Stay here for a little bit, so if we need to, we can pedal those feet, wag our tails, really wiggle into the best down dog that we can find right now. Good, now let's bend those knees really, 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 really deep, so much so that they find the floor. And soften the feet underneath of us. And lower all the way down to a child's pose. There, keeping our hips over our heels, we'll walk our hands over to one side, reaching across our body with the opposite arm. Keeping those hips sinking low, chest is lowering, softening our shoulders. And slowly come back to the center, find one breath here. Walk our hands over to the other side. And then back to the center. And now let's walk those fingers out in front of us. Our hips will leave our heels and they'll come straight over our knees. Arms are nice and long out in front of us. And then tilting that pelvis, we'll slowly lower our chest down towards the ground. And rest our forehead on our mats. Or if we would like, we can try and put that chin on our mat. And then begin to press into those palms again so we can slowly walk our hips back over our heels. Round in the spine and tuck the chin. And then continue to walk those hands towards our knees, lifting our chests up off of our knees. Pull those shoulders back, and we'll tuck the tail and bring the hands back behind us this time. First, we'll just hang out here, hands to the floor. If this is too much, we can always find a pillow or some blocks to raise up a little bit. We can use a stair if we are in our house with stairs. Good, and now just lift ourselves back up to the center. Give ourselves a wiggle. Lengthen on that inhale. Exhale, we'll bring those hands back behind us again, pulling the shoulders back, lifting the heart. When we're ready, pressing those knees into the floor, lifting our hips. And then lower those hips back down. Take a breath here. Find our footing or handing, wherever. And then press those knees down, lift the hips, squeeze those glutes, pull the shoulders back. Let the chin come away from the chest. Try for one more breath here. And then we'll lower those hips back down. Whew. We'll lift the shoulders, let the hands go. And we'll even come all the way down, keeping the hands by our feet, and roll up into our little ball called rabbit. Good, hands come out in front of us. Just enough so that when we swish our feet over to the side, toward the left, let's bring the feet to the left. We'll help ourselves up. We'll straighten that left leg. And we'll keep the right foot into that left thigh for our Janu Shirshasana. Good. Pull those muscles away from our sitting bones so we're nice and stable underneath. Inhale, we'll lengthen, and we're going to twist over to the right. That left hand can find the knee, right hand can find the floor behind us. We can look over that right shoulder. Slowly we'll come back to the center. Hands come down right in between our legs, and we'll slowly walk our way down into a fold here. And then inhale, come back up. Good. And then again, turning toward this right knee just a little bit. We're going to take that left arm to the inside of the left leg. Elbow to the inside of the knee. If we can get it down to the floor, that's really cool. And then the right arm will reach up and over, or just up. If this feels best on your shoulder or on your back, you can try finding the foot with either hand. You can use a strap if you would like. Good. And inhale, let's come all the way up. And unwind. And shake those legs out. We'll move over to the other side. So we'll lengthen that right leg. Left foot goes into the thigh. Let that left knee relax. Good. And then lengthen on the inhale. We're going to twist around to the left. Right hand to the knee. Left hand back behind us. Lengthen on those inhales. We deepen the twist on the exhales. Gently encouraging ourselves around. And back around to the center. And then right here, hands come forward, and we'll gently walk our way down into a little fold. And then slowly we'll help ourselves back up. One more little twist. Inhale, let's come over just over that left knee. Place the right arm inside that leg. Slowly we fold down. Raise the left hand straight up, or we can come over. You can try to find that foot. But when we're looking for that foot, we don't want to turn our shoulders. That's cheating. We have to be able to do it, keeping our shoulders stacked. Oh man, that's a lot harder. Almost there. Let's do one more breath here. And we'll slowly come up. Bring those legs out in front of us. We'll wiggle it out. Yeah. And then we'll do one boat to say we did some ab work. So right here, hands will come behind our thighs, nice tall spine. We begin to lift our heels and then our toes up off of the floor. We squeeze those thighs together. We can keep holding behind our legs, or if we would like, we can reach for those toes, or we can reach for the sky. And now, as we exhale, let's begin to open the angle, keeping our backs nice and flat as we can. Lower ourselves down to the floor. Once we find that floor, just let it be. Bring those knees into our chest. Roll up into our little ball. Good. And now let's release the legs. Let them stay bended. So about a 90 degree at our ankle, at our knees and at our hips. And I guess at our ankles too, if we would like. Arms can come down to our sides, palms up. Pull the shoulders back. Really press that low back into our mats. And now, only hinging at the hips. Let's lower those feet down toward the mat until we want to lift our low back. And then we'll slowly bring it back up. We can use our hands to just kind of feel what that torso is doing, what our core is doing. Lowering down. Press, 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 press. Move. And come back up. I like to do things in threes because that's easy to count too. So we'll lower down again. Come back up. Keep that angle in the hips. And we'll just take those knees over to the left. Softening our shoulders into our mats. We can even look over toward the right. Now let's inhale, bring those knees back up to the center. And then we'll exhale them down, over to the other side. Bring those knees back to the center, all the way into our chest. We'll open the knees wide, elbows come to the inside, holding our pinky toes in dead bug. Pulling that tailbone back down in towards our mat. Breathing into our bellies, let that tummy press into our thighs as we breathe in super deep. And out, letting those knees come down a little bit further toward the floor. Stay here for 2 more breaths. tail end. We'll just release those legs. They can come down to the mat. We can bend the knees, keep the feet on the floor. They can come out long. Arms out to the sides. Close our eyes. And soften all along our face. And give our body permission to just be. Give ourselves the gift of stillness and quiet. When we're ready, now slowly move our fingers and our toes. Come back into our space. Bring our knees into our chest and roll over onto our side in the fetal position. Let's take one big breath here. rising up into a comfortable seated position. Take this moment to check in how you're feeling right now. After our practice, after our little nap, inhale, lifting those hands up to the sky, bringing them together at the top, and exhaling them down to our hearts with gratitude, giving thanks to us for all of the gifts that you just gave us. I'm so grateful that you allowed us to share our practice with you today. I hope that you feel even just a little bit better than when you started. The light in the divine in me recognizes and respects the light and the divine in each of you, and when we are together, we are one. Namaste.